Welcome to the Qeynos / Surefall Glade / Halas starting guide. This will be for the humans that are starting in Qeynos, and also if you make a ranger or a druid, you will start in Surefall Glade. Both of these areas are in close proximity, only separated by Qeynos Hills, and also Halas, which is separated by Blackburrow. You will be able to, or should be able to, travel through Blackburrow if you make it to the edge of Everfrost Peaks. However, I will cover the Halas section toward the end. So obviously when you start out here, the first areas that you go to will be probably this newbie area. You can always venture out into Qeynos Hills, but you'll probably be staying in the newbie area till, at least a couple, 2-3 levels, maybe sell some, rat whiskers or whatnot, and get a few copper for at least a few spells before you head on too far out. Now the goal with these leveling guides I'm building is to get the first 15, maybe 20 levels near home. This is not going to be applicable if you have personas running. If you bought the new expansion, have personas, you can pretty much travel anywhere. This is for the people that are going to be starting in this area. Now, normally you can find better leveling spots than where you began, but what I've found to happen is that I'll spend a ton of time traveling very slowly across the world, spending hours just to get to the spot. And if I just would have stayed and grinded out crappy experience in any of these spots here, probably would have leveled high enough where I wouldn't need to go to that spot across the world and could find a better spot closer to home. So as we head out into Qeynos Hills, the level range out here is still pretty much a beginning area, anywhere from level 1 to 11 mobs. One of my favorite areas to camp is Blackburrow, and there are a few spawns outside of Blackburrow that you can set up on. Probably be heavily camped, but if you can grab, I think 3 to 6 spawns outside of Blackburrow, and those range from levels, I think 3 to 5 or 6, but just some casual experience outside of Blackburrow. And that's Blackburrow up there. Your mobs outside of Blackburrow that I kind of will sit on if I'm not able to find a group, or these ones out here. You get a spawn here, and those are level 3, and then you also have a spawn up here, a couple of them, so you get 4 or 5 mobs, maybe some roamers through there. But other than that, the main area that you're going to be leveling in if you start in Qeynos or Surefall Glade to the north here, so you'll run your druid or ranger out and meet up whatever characters are here, is Blackburrow. Blackburrow is going to be bumping. There will be a ton of groups in here, ton of picks, and you can level up here for a little bit of time until you get high enough to go to the other areas. Qeynos and Surefall Glade are pretty nice starting areas, and even Halas out through Everfrost Peaks to Blackburrow because of Blackburrow. The level range is inside Blackburrow up to level 13 for the null commander, and generally starts for a couple pops at level 1, but normally 3 to 11. And there's a lot of camps in this zone, but you can camp or kill pretty much anywhere in this zone. My favorite place, I usually try to cheat and jump into this pit, take a little bit of shortcut. This will absolutely get you killed if you're not high enough level. You see that mob there is level 6, and then back up. All kinds of gnolls in here. The snake pit too is kind of popular. A lot of people like to farm in here for whatever reason. And you can see over here, the null commander, elite guards. This is the higher level camp. You're going to want to stay in Blackburrow probably until level 10, if not a little bit higher. That will definitely give you some more options. This area here is where I kind of like to set up camp. Right on here, it gets kind of dangerous, but you got all these mobs, all these ones back here, and a lot of these things drop arrows, so if you got a bow, you can fire across to there and get those mobs. All the ones down here, pretty epic area, level, and you can get down here by going to the store to the right here. So that will be your goal to get to level 10. For those of us that are starting Barbarians, you'll have Everfrost Peaks. Everfrost Peaks is kind of unique in itself because technically you don't really have to leave Everfrost Peaks for quite some time. There are a lot of various level ranges, especially on the eastern half of Everfrost Peaks, where there'll be mobs up into the 20s and some camps between 7 and 13 and whatnot. I'm gonna run too far out because there's not really camps to show it here, except for some of my favorite camps in here out in the 20s, some spiders and whatnot. Out down in this area here. Otherwise, the icy orc camp I think goes up to like level 30, 25 to 30ish. Spiders are like level 20 to 23 down here. But yeah, you'll take your barbarian and run from Halas because there's not really too much point of staying here. You could try to level through here. This gets kind of dangerous running south through here, so it's kind of hit or miss. You could get a few levels and then try to make the run. Maybe there's enough people traveling at the beginning of the TLP where that's not an issue to get out here. You'll just run straight south and hope that the undead lyricist or whatever, that level 9 or 10 skeleton doesn't get you before you make it to the zone in. And then, like I said, Blackburrow should be pretty heavily camped, so you should be able to run right through Blackburrow or stop and get a group in Blackburrow. Not a lot of people are going to want to tank level 1s, but maybe if there's enough level 1s and 2s and 3s, you can make an entrance type group. You're pretty much going to just travel through Blackburrow and try to level in Qeynos Hills. So this shouldn't be too bad because of all the people that should be in this zone. So if you do plan on making a Barbarian or whatnot and you want to get it across, I would do so upon server launch just to be safe. However, if you're boxing and you got some high level characters you're leveling elsewhere, it won't be too much of an issue at all just to come and clear the way through for them. So Blackburrow is where you're going to want to hang out, starting probably a level 4 or 5 wouldn't be a bad idea. Take it to 10, you could pull it up to 11, 12, maybe 13. Once you're like 10-ish though, then you start to run out of options. That's where you start heading these long ass runs to the plains of Karana. There's some good camps out here. We'll take a run to one and I'll show you some of the areas. Very good reason why you don't want to move around too much is you're going to have to travel across the Karanas. These are notorious for taking for fucking ever. You do not want to wipe out here, which means you don't want to come out here too soon. Just for quick reference, we'll go back to the Everquest grinding leveling guide and we're going to sort by the zone name. We're going to go down to West Karana and I've marked off only 2 camps. 2 bandit camps near each other, and then some coordinates. 6 to 10 mobs, 5-minute respawn, and then West Karana, the ogre camp in the middle of the zone. Like I said, if you are not level 10, breaking these bandit camps would be kind of hard, but there's a lot of bandit camps and stuff in here. The main bandit camp that's referenced in my guide is actually this one here with the named right here. Still quite a long run. And then the ogre camp is where Chief Grumel is right here. That's level 20 to like 25. Otherwise, there are shady bandit camps down here. And then there is a little bit of undead ruins here. There's a few mobs ranging from levels 5, 6, 7 maybe out here. But there isn't too much. That's why I'm saying stick to Blackburrow until you can hit up maybe these bandit camps. Because this is Western Karana and I got the fastest mount. So it takes quite a while to get over to North Karana. This is why you don't want to be moving around too much. Once you're good enough to make this run without dying, because if you die, you have to start wherever your bind spot was. Once you can make this without dying, you can bind somewhere else and never have to come back to this area again. This is a once-in-a-lifetime run. Pretty much numlock it, or hopefully someone comes back. As you saw, if you could imagine running this at regular speed, like I said, you're going to want, maybe you create your bard to help you run a little bit, and wait till you get some spells and buffs to make this run, because I bet you it takes a good 10-15 minutes if you're just going to walk across this zone, and you could easily run into anything that could kill you, and then you're going to be starting back over from scratch. Here we have that ogre camp I was talking about, that you can see the chief's even aggro me is level 34, so I guess that's the kind of dangerous aspect of this, because everything else is in the 20s, so you can deal with this chief here. Might make for an okay camp. So entering the northern plains of Karana, you can see in my guide that I've marked off only 2 areas. That does not mean that there's not a lot of mobs in the zone to kill. These are strictly camps where there's static type mobs that you can actually kill. Levels 9 to 12 is a raider camp in the southeast on the river. And levels 13 to 17 is a small undead area southeast of the zone. So if we go back, pull up the map, we would be looking at the raider camp is going to be down here on this edge. And this zone is full of a bunch of wildlife. There's lions and other things roaming around. We're on the level 9 to 10 range. The zone is relatively desolate and not a whole lot going on, and it takes forever to get out here. So then you have the options, the eastern plains of Karana, the southern plains of Karana. Head toward the eastern plains of Karana, you're heading toward High Pass. And if you go down south, you're heading towards Split Paw, which is a higher level leveling zone. So in eastern Karana, we have levels 10 through 13, the carrion spiders, chasm crawlers in the field. 15 plus, there's a good area that you can go chase them around. And levels 18, 20, there's crag spiders in the field. And what that means is there's generally a path where you can see or track at least 15 of them in a really close area. And if we go to South Karana, there's a bunch of this undead ruins, has quick respawns. So levels 5 to 11, raider camps, and then the centaur village, and then those outside of Split Paw. This isn't a bad option here if you don't want to do Blackburrow, the undead ruins in the north. I've sat up there for a little bit. The other thing you can do is go to a Roots Crossing, go to Toxilia Forest. So once you're up to past that level 10 range, hopefully closer to 15, however you need to do it, there's some things that High Pass hold, orcs at the entrance from 13 to 18. You could do the smugglers, or if you like to do the guards if you don't care about faction. Otherwise, what you're mainly trying to do here is at least get the level 10 and increase your traveling options, get some money on you. You can get your spells so that when you do travel, you have everything on you. And then you'll be able to head at level 10-ish to either some of the Kunark zones, Lake of Ill Omen, Kern's Tower. You can even go to Unrest and start farming the courtyard area. And obviously 11 through 19, Crocs and Caymans, you can join your human counterparts. So if you can get to level 10 or a little bit higher, that really opens up a lot of options. You're talking being able to get to Upper Guk and then some of the other more popular leveling areas. Like I said, Blackburrow is your main focus while you're in this area. Once you hit Blackburrow and you're done with that zone, I don't actually find that it's really worth it to stay around the area. It's pretty much, you know, get your spells, get set, and you get that long traveling journey, or maybe by that time someone's got druids that can come get you and port you out. Maybe got some money for some ports to pay a druid to come get you. Otherwise, you're stuck traveling and leveling in the Karanas, and dying out there is terrible. So hopefully you made a cleric and you can keep it alive, because you'll be able to hit some of the traditional Lake of Ill-Omen leveling spots or some of these areas. Once you get level 10, you'll be on your way to following some of my power leveling guide, where you can go farm up on rest. You can go Soleil, Castle Mistmore coming up, eventually in the Lower Gulk and the Hole, and then some of the Kunark zones. You get City of Mist, not till 30, but you can see here some of the classic popular spots. So Unrest, Castle Mistmore, Soleil, Upper Gulk, a bunch of leveling spots like that. So it might even be worthwhile to finish Blackburrow and then go do the Crocs and Caymans to the docks, and like I said, join some of the humans and stuff. There will be a lot of groups, a lot of people out there. Also at level 10, if you can make your way to Kunark, you'll be able to get to Kern's Tower. And like I said, Lake of Ill-Omen has some spots. Over there even has, in the northeast area of that field, is level 14 to 19. Field of Bone is 7 to 15. The spot in Lake of Ill-Omen, north of the lake. So there's some good like boxing solo spots, but you can get into some of the dungeons too then and start doing the dungeon crawls. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up. Create your Barbarian Shamans. I'm going to create a Barbarian Warrior. This will be probably where I try to start most of my characters. I'll get my monks out. You know, if I can get the full 8 or 9 created and over in one area, I'll do so. But I'm also no rush. I have no problem leveling 3-4 characters or grouping for a little while and getting some platinum under my belt, my spells, and then coming back and power leveling some characters. The one advantage you have as a boxer, if I were able to make 6 to 9 characters, I would actually be able to stay in some of the higher level areas with a little bit more success and be able to handle the extra mobs. So yeah, again, your focus will be Blackburrow and getting all your characters together in one group. Everquestguides.com, which is my website, has all of the camps in Classic, the power leveling spots for Classic Kunark, all the way up to Luckland. I only made it up to the Vilius for leveling guides, but it has all of the things that I consider camps. You can sort by level minimum, maximum, you get a description, you get the camp size, the respawn time. Popularity is going to be wrong because in this Kunark grinding guide, it assumes that Classic has been out for 3 months. So a lot of these areas would typically be empty, and that's not going to be the case when you're starting fresh with Kunark available. A lot of these zones are going to be more popular than they're listed in here because of that. From here, you can check out either my Everquest Kunark power leveling guide and see how I do it when I'm boxing myself, or you can learn how I set up my multi-box so that maybe someday in the near future, if you're not boxing already, you'll be able to box too. I'll show you exactly my equipment and how I set it up.